Another thing to keep in mind in Photoshop as you work is you get a history palette here that basically stores everything that you're doing in the image. So as I go along and apply more things to this image, it's basically storing that information inside of a palette in Photoshop that keeps track of what I'm doing. Now, if I make any mistakes, I can use this history palette to basically make my way back up before I did any of those crops and essentially go back to the very beginning, which is the original Photoshop file that I had. So that's a good way to keep track of what I do inside of Photoshop and correct any mistakes. Now the issue being is under my preferences I only have a particular amount of save states for that history palette. It saves about 30 states, which is pretty good. But in any case, if you want to change those amount of history states, you can basically go right into your preferences panel and go ahead and enable those saving states under performance and history and cache, and you've got about 20 states. So you can adjust that if needed. That's just going to slow the performance of Photoshop down if you make that in a bit higher adjustments from the 20 that you have. So you want to be careful of making those adjustments, but you want to be aware of that option inside of Photoshop.